to God. It is June the 3rd. It is Monday morning. I pray all is well with everybody. I am praying travel grace and mercy to everybody that's going to and fro. Y'all, let's go ahead and get started. Y'all, it's the show.
Jesus Christ is a lesson. Every day is a blessing. Waking up early in the morning just to give him the honor and the glory and the praise. Hey, calling on his holy name.
Amen. Glory be to God. I hope all is well with everybody. Y'all, it is Monday morning. It's the beginning of the work week. I pray that you enjoying yourself. I know some people are off for work today. The kids are still out of school. It is the summertime, y'all. The 4th of July is tomorrow. Amen. I pray that y'all enjoy the holiday and be safe out there. Amen. Glory be to God. I don't know if they're doing the fireworks where you from and where your city or whatever country you in. I don't know if they gonna be doing fireworks, but I pray everybody enjoy themselves. Amen. Glory be to God. And don't forget to pray and pray for everybody's safety. And I pray all is well with everyone. Going into that hour, the night hour. Well, I don't know. So you know how it be. Some people be still popping firecrackers. Some people be shooting guns. Amen. So, I pray all is well. We don't want to hear no tragedies. It was going on in the news. It was a guy out of Africa that was killed. In France, amen, and it started a whole riot. They started rioting, and people were getting hurt, and and they had to get the police to come out there, to kind of calm it down. It got real crazy, in the protests. People was burning up cars and buildings and stuff like that. I think the guy was a teenager. I mean, the cop pulled him over and he shot him, So it was two guys standing at the car. So people are outraged. I'm praying for the victim and their families, praying for peace. It's like it's going on all around the world. The police shootings, it's going on in Europe. It's going on in the United States. It's going on in South America. It's going on in Africa. It's going on in a lot of different places, y'all. When they say when the Bible say that we are all suffering the same kind of suffering, we all going through the same things, God was most definitely telling the truth when he was speaking to the people through the Bible and through these books. So I pray that all is well with everyone, y'all. So we're going to get into this word. Amen. Let's get into the book of Psalms, y'all. We're going to go ahead and jump into it. I know we was in the book of Isaiah. I'm going to go to Exodus chapter 17 and just go ahead with that.
At the Lord's command, the whole community of Israel left the wilderness of Sin and moved from place to place. Eventually they camped at Rephidim, but there was no water there for the people to drink. So once more the people complained against Moses. "Give us water to drink." They demanded quiet. Moses replied, "Why are you complaining against me? And why are you testing the Lord?" But tormented by thirst, they continued to argue with Moses. "Why did you bring us out of Egypt? Are you trying to kill us, our children, and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What should I do with these people? They are ready to stone me." The Lord said to Moses, "Walk out in front of the people. Take your staff, the one you used when you struck the water of the Nile, and call some of the elders of Israel to join you. I will stand before you on the rock at Mount Sinai. Strike the rock, and water will come gushing out. Then the people will be able to drink." So Moses struck the rock as he was told, and water gushed out as the elders looked on. Moses named the place Massah, which means test, and Meribah, which means arguing, because the people of Israel argued with Moses and tested the Lord by saying, "Is the Lord here with us or not?" While the people of Israel were still at Rephidim, the warriors of Amalek attacked them. Moses commanded Joshua, "Choose some men to go out and fight the army of Amalek for us. Tomorrow, I will stand at the top of the hill, holding the staff of God in my hand." So Joshua did what Moses had commanded and fought the army of Amalek. Meanwhile Moses, Aaron and Hur climbed to the top of a nearby hill. As long as Moses held up the staff in his hand, the Israelites had the advantage. But whenever he dropped his hand, the Amalekites gained the advantage. Moses' arms soon became so tired he could no longer hold them up. So Aaron and Hur found a stone for him to sit on. Then they stood on each side of Moses, holding up his hands. So his hands held steady until sunset. As a result, Joshua overwhelmed the army of Amalek in battle. After the victory, the Lord instructed Moses, "Write this down on a scroll as a permanent reminder, and read it aloud to Joshua. I will erase the memory of Amalek from under heaven." Moses built an altar there and named it Yahweh Nissi, which means the Lord is my banner. He said, "They have raised their fist against the Lord's throne, so now the Lord will be at war with Amalek generation after generation."
Amen. I am going to go to the book of Genesis. Glory be to God. Chapter 19. 15, y'all. I'm sorry.
Sometime later, the Lord spoke to Abram in a vision and said to him, "Do not be afraid, Abram, for I will protect you, and your reward will be great." But Abram replied, "O sovereign Lord, what good are all your blessings when I don't even have a son? Since you've given me no children, Eliezer of Damascus, a servant in my household, will inherit all my wealth. You have given me no descendants of my own, so one of my servants will be my heir." Then the Lord said to him, "No, your servant will not be your heir, for you will have a son of your own who will be your heir." Then the Lord took Abram outside and said to him, "Look up into the sky and count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you will have." And Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith. Then the Lord told him, "I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land as your possession." But Abram replied, "O sovereign Lord, how can I be sure that I will actually possess it?" The Lord told him, "Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon." So Abram presented all these to him and killed them. Then he cut each animal down the middle and laid the halves side by side. He did not, however, cut the birds in half. Some vultures swooped down to eat the carcasses, but Abram chased them away. As the sun was going down, Abram fell into a deep sleep, and a terrifying darkness came down over him. Then the Lord said to Abram, "You can be sure that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land, where they will be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. But I will punish the nation that enslaves them, and in the end they will come away with great wealth. As for you, you will die in peace and be buried at a ripe old age. After 4 generations your descendants will return here to this land, for the sins of the Amorites do not yet warrant their destruction." After the sun went down and darkness fell, Abram saw a smoking firepot and a flaming torch pass between the halves of the carcasses. So the Lord made a covenant with Abram that day and said, "I have given this land to your descendants, all the way from the border of Egypt to the great Euphrates River. The land now occupied by the Kenites, Kenizzites, Cadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephates, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites." Genesis chapter 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had not been able to bear children for him. But she had an Egyptian servant named Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "The Lord has prevented me from having children. Go and sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children through her." And Abram agreed with Sarai's proposal. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. This happened 10 years after Abram had settled in the land of Canaan. So Abram had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. But when Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress Sarai with contempt. Then Sarai said to Abram, "This is all your fault. I put my servant into your arms, but now that she's pregnant she treats me with contempt. The Lord will show who's wrong, you or me." Abram replied, "Look, she is your servant, so deal with her as you see fit." Then Sarai treated Hagar so harshly that she finally ran away. The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness, along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, "Hagar, Sarai's servant, where have you come from, and where are you going?" I'm running away from my mistress Sarai, she replied. The angel of the Lord said to her, Return to your mistress, and submit to her authority. Then he added, I will give you more descendants than you can count. And the angel also said, You are now pregnant, and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, which means God hears, for the Lord has heard your cry of distress. This son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. He will raise his fist against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against all his relatives. Thereafter, Hagar used another name to refer to the Lord, who had spoken to her. She said, You are the God who sees me. She also said, Have I truly seen the one who sees me? So that well was named Bir Lahai Roi, which means well of the living one who sees me. It can still be found between cage and bird. So Hagar gave Abram a son, and Abram named him Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born.
And I'm going to stop right there. Amen. Glory be to God. I thank y'all for joining me, y'all. I pray that y'all have a blessed Monday. Amen. Glory be to God. And that is most definitely my time.
Jesus Christ is a lesson. Every day is a blessing. Waking up early in the morning just to give him the honor and the glory and the praise. Calling on his holy name.